Jordan. A spectacular move.
Be clean.
Bring it home, Kobe, baby. Oh, he came up behind him like a librarian. He never heard him.
That might be one of the craziest knockouts I've ever seen.
G'day guys, welcome back to the Casual Fan Experience YouTube and podcast. Absolutely massive recording today. We sat down earlier in the day with a former NCAA starting point guard for a championship team, played in the NBA, drafted by the Detroit Pistons, played in the NBL, Euroleague, Peyton Siva Jr, played everywhere. I'm here with Tommy and Lukey. How are you, boys?
Yeah, mate, I'm doing well. Man, so excited. Such an honour to have someone like this on as a guest. So yeah, it was a great time.
Yes, I'm still buzzing with energy. That's how good it was.
Yeah, it was sick. So we won't hold anyone away from that for too much longer. So let's just jump straight into that. Check out the interview with Peyton Siva Jr. Well, g'day Peyton, welcome to the Casual Fan Experience. We're super excited to have you on here. We've been sort of teed up for a little while now and really glad that it's finally happened. First off, obviously recently you've come back from Greece. How's settling back in over at the USA?
Yeah, it was fun, man. I went over to Greece, just got back not too long ago. Was with Panathinaikos, finished the year out there after was in Australia, but happy to be home, happy to be around my family again.
Awesome.
That's fire.
Yeah. One of the questions the boys did have was how did you go balancing, I guess, that family life with the overseas travel, because you obviously played Europe and over here in Australia as well. How have you found that?
So you said, how do I balance that in family?
Yeah, your family life with the overseas, obviously playing overseas a fair bit.
This year was kind of unique in the sense that my family was with me the whole time when we were in Australia.
Yeah, nice.
So that was good. Kind of helped having them with me, especially being, in the hotel all year. Stayed in Melbourne since we got kicked out of New Zealand.
Yeah.
But it was nice. They got a chance to kind of, see Melbourne, which is, a really nice city in itself. And, when I went over back to Europe, they stayed in the States. So that was tough. But thank God for FaceTime. I get a chance to talk to them every day.
That's so good.
That was good.
How did you find Australian culture? Because obviously you probably would have realised Australians have a pretty big sporting culture and we absolutely love our sports. It's the reason we're doing a podcast. So how did you find, Australian sporting culture, and I guess how much we're into a fair few different types of sports and stuff?
I thought it was pretty cool. Just traveling around the world, you see the different cultures and how much love they have for the different sports. You go to Europe, soccer, football is key.
Yeah.
I felt like when we went to Australia, rugby and AFL were the top notch there.
Yeah.
But it was pretty cool, man, to see the passion that fans have in their sports, and it was cool to see how basketball is growing. We went to a couple different places. I was able to play in Sydney. They had a good fan base. Tasmania had a really good fan base, especially having their team back for the first time. So it was cool to see Australian culture, just see their love for the game.
How was the level of basketball down there, in the NBL?
I thought it was a lot better than I thought coming into it. You hear about a lot of people going over there. You see the big numbers that some put up. But from a basketball standpoint, it was a lot better than I thought going into it this year. I thought the league has grown a lot of talent this year. And it was fun, man. I really enjoyed it. I really had a good time playing in the league. And, wish we could have played better, but I still enjoyed my experience.
Yeah, that's
so good. You got any favorite moments or highlights from your NBL or any career for that matter, NBA, college? Because you've played at a lot of different levels. So I was wondering if you had like a favorite highlight or something like that you wanted to share.
I mean, so many. From college when winning the championship, the NCAA championship. Getting drafted by Detroit was the highlight of my career.
Crazy.
Going to Europe, won a couple championships with Berlin. Playing in the NBL, I would say a big highlight for me this year playing over there was probably the Sydney game where we actually beat Sydney in Sydney. First time playing against them.
Yeah.
Our team was finally getting a little healthy. We actually, was playing pretty well as a team. We went into another break, a lot of injuries, but that was probably a big highlight for our season, that win, and these guys getting healthy, getting the rhythm. So.
Yeah, that's so good.
For sure. We've obviously spent a bit of time just on YouTube and stuff, watching some of your highlights and whatever else from your time at Louisville or wherever it might be. One thing we did sort of notice is, like, in the pick and roll, whenever you get like a good pick, you kind of seem to have the defender a little bit at your mercy, like whether you pull up and shoot or like drive to the rim. Is that something that like you've worked on, or you kind of always had like a good instinct for it, or?
No, I would say it just kind of came as I got older. When I was young, I didn't really run a lot of pick and rolls until college. High school, I didn't really run a lot of big. Our big man when I was in high school was about 6'4".
Yeah.
So there was a lot of pick and rolls going on, a lot of one-on-one. Using my speed and my advantage. I really started learning more and more as I grew in college and into the NBA. I got a chance to learn a lot from Chauncey Billups and just how to read the pick and roll and manipulating the defense. And it just, as time went on, I just learned how to get better and better at it. And it's still a process for me, but it's fun, man. Just fun. Just you can always grow and learn and try to use it as an advantage now.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, watching your highlights, I noticed you had like crazy bounce like during those years. You're just throwing dunks down everywhere. Have you still got any bounce like that now?
I got some, man. Some every now and then when on a good day when the sun's out and rain shining. Nah, man. I dealt with a lot of injuries, so just about getting healthy. But I can still get up there, man. I can still the young guys. I can still jump a little bit.
No, that's
that's awesome.
Right. Yeah, I remember we were watching the highlights yesterday of I think there's one on YouTube called the Dunking Simone or something, and we're watching that, and it was just it was mad. We were like, oh, he's got some mad bunnies. Obviously, 2013 NCAA Championship. Talk us through that. I guess that whole tournament and going through, because that was obviously a pretty crazy, a crazy experience. Did it all come together at the right time, I suppose, or?
I would say, man, with the NCAA, it's all about getting hot at the right time. All about matchups. It's a single game elimination. You run into some good matchups. You get really good. For us, we ran into some really good matchups. Played some tough teams along the road. We played Colorado State, good team, Jacksonville State. Played Oregon that year too, which was big for us because we had lost to them earlier in the year, and that was a game where a lot of people remember us from when Kevin broke his leg. And our toughest game was for us, matchup wise, was probably Wichita State Final Four. They were a really good team, and then the Michigan game also was a tough game, but I feel like we matched up well with them.
Yeah.
Like I said, it's all about matching hot, and we were hot at the right time, and we got the win.
Of course, I'd completely forgotten about the Kevin breaking his leg until you mentioned it just then. That would have been even being around. That would have been crazy. Like that was such like an emotional thing.
For sure.
Did you have like a go-to move that you always went to, just to like get past your defender and just get an easy bucket when your team needed it?
A go-to move?
Yeah.
Man, I relied a lot on my speed and my quickness when I was in college. I was pretty quick, quicker than everybody. Give them just, a simple move and go. Uh, as I learned, as you go up levels, you got to use more and more moves, manipulate the defense. But when I was in college, more just a burst of speed and get by my defender and use my athleticism around the rim.
Yeah.
As I got older, I wasn't able to jump inside, so I had to, rely more on my jump shot, floaters, and just find other ways to create. But yeah, I don't really have now. I don't really have like a go-to move. I try to, use the pick and roll, manipulate it, and still use my burst.
You've, as we were saying before, you've played in heaps of high school, college, MBA, international. What do you think required like the biggest, I guess, adjustment from going up that next level?
Just with different levels, man. You gotta find your niche. Whether it's college, I had to sacrifice scoring to kind of be the pure point guard and lead the team. Where I play for a little bit more, um, drives. When I was playing it with Alba, my job was a lot easier. Like Luke Sigma, and I had a really great Marcus. I played with Simone. Broken guys probably don't know about, but Euroleague, they play Euroleague. So I played with some really good guys, talented guys. In Alba, it was fun. My role was to score, but also facilitate. So I had to learn how to shoot at a more efficient rate. You might get 10, 11 shots, so you have to be efficient with them. Make 7 or 8 of them. Uh,
Yeah.
So you learn to be more efficient as you get older and as the levels go higher. Some people are volume shooters. That was never my role, so I had to be efficient with what I was make the right read. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Did you ever have like a moment, whether it be like going from high school to college or college to the NBA or overseas, it was like kind of like a welcome to the league moment where you went like, oh shit, like I'm here now,
Oh, every level I went to, a welcome moment. From middle school to high school, I remember my first day of practice. I played against a guy named Donnie Cheatham in high school, who I couldn't get my dribble off or shot off because his defense was crazy. When I went to college, uh, Coach Patino had me playing on the second team against the first team, and ball over half the court in the first couple practices. When I got to the NBA, I played 1-on-1 against Rodney Stuckey. He literally just body under the basket. I thought I was like, all right, I can. I got a chance actually when I was playing Drew Holiday, and I was like, all right, let me pick him up full court, and that's what I was kind of known for in college. And he literally just walked the ball up, just turned his shoulder to me, and just backed me down all the way down court and pulled up at the elbow. And there was nothing I can do.
Yeah.
So each level, it was always a welcome to that level moment for me, and I appreciate it because I learned a lot from it. I grew from it.
Yeah, awesome.
I reckon one thing that would be just like an incredible experience would have been the NBA draft and draft night and even going through all the workouts with all the teams and things like that. So what was that process like for you?
Man, it was a long, tough process because I think I worked out for maybe 14 teams, and I sprained my ankle, and I missed like 4 workouts right before the draft, so that kind of like upset me. But you're flying everywhere, getting off the flight, going to the workout, then you're on to the next flight, and then draft night was stressful because you don't know where you're going. I thought I was going somewhere in the second round. Each pick that goes by, you're just hoping that your name gets called. I'm constantly texting my agent. I think I sat in my room with my wife, and it was by us. I didn't want anybody around us. Everyone who was calling, I was like ignoring, just like, stop calling me. I want to leave my phone line open in case one of these NBA call me. And I got the call from Detroit, man. I was excited. I was relieved. It was a blessing, and It was great to just hear my name called because it was, a dream come true, and it was kind of all the sacrifice time that I put in, coming from where I come from.
Yeah, of
Yeah,
course.
that's so awesome.
Blessing.
Yeah, that's mad.
Well, yeah. Speaking of, I guess obviously you grew up sort of in Seattle, around Seattle there. Pretty good culture, like basketball culture, at least from what we can see over here. There, how did that impact growing up? Like, how was it growing up there? And then obviously there's talk of like potentially like an expansion, and like Seattle could get a team again. Is that something that like would be you'd be keen to see, or?
The basketball culture in Seattle is huge. The basketball world is such a small world, actually. So, like, everybody knows everybody. Seattle, the basketball scene, everybody helped everybody, kind of like a brotherhood. I had guys like Jason Terry, Jamal Crawford. Those are kind of like the two big guys. Helped me along the way. Grew up watching guys like Nick Robinson, Aaron Brooks, Marcus Williams, guys I like patted on my head, watched and loved watching growing up. Everybody kind of came back and helped out. If you needed help with something, they were always there for you. So that was big. As far as the expansion, man, it would be awesome for Seattle to get a team. Man. Basketball, the love that the fans have up there, and everything. It would be great for them to get another basketball team.
Yeah.
So the love and support for the Seattle Storm, Seattle Seahawks, the Sounders, the Mounters. So the very good, sports culture up there. Hopefully they get the team back. It was sad to see that the team that we had was so much to let go, but hopefully they can get it back.
How much of an NBA fan are you still? Like, do you watch it all the time and just like watch it whenever you can, or?
Do I watch it?
Yeah, like, do you still just watch it just for the sake of it? You still follow it every day?
I usually watch it around playoff time. That's kind of like the time where I like to see the intensity. I'll watch it every now and then. I'll keep up with some of the guys that I know. But I watch a lot of like our league basketball games or Europe league basketball games.
Yeah.
Just because those are the style that I'm going up against. So I kind of want to see what the guys are doing that I can do out on the court. Where the NBA is a different game completely from the NBL, and different rules, different court size, different spacing. So I watch it every now and then just for like to see the new moves. But I like to study kind of league games.
Yeah, that's sick.
You mentioned before, obviously, Coach Patino, an all-time like great college coach, at least from in my opinion. How is it playing under him? Is there like a piece of advice or something that he sort of, I guess, instilled in you that's, I guess, stuck with you the whole time, all the way through?
Coach, a great coach, Hall of Fame coach, the best motivating coach I've ever played for. The guy is brilliant coach, brilliant motivator, and I mean, it wasn't easy to play for him. Definitely tough, but I would say as tough as he was on the court, he was the nicest guy off the court. I still have a relationship off the court to this day. Great guy, but one of the hardest working coaches. Like when we did scouting or anything for the team, I knew every team's players. I could tell the players in the other team, like, hey, you're not running this play right. That's how much film focus we had on everything that the other teams did. So, with him, he definitely had to go out there and play. He's an amazing coach.
Yeah, awesome. I guess going back to, obviously, yeah, as you said, with the NBL and obviously playing, because you guys played out of Tassie, is that right? Or the Breakers?
Our home game. We were stationed in Melbourne, but played our home game in Tassie.
Yeah, geez, like that would have been an experience in itself. Like that, like having to, not even play, I guess, in like New Zealand where you were, or who you were playing for. How was that, and how did you go about coping with, I guess, having to like constantly be moving? I mean, I suppose that's probably a part of basketball anyway, but even just like moving just for your home games.
I would say that was tough, man. That was a tough situation for us because we were flying to all of our home games, playing in front of no fans. Just empty arena. So we, as basketball players, and you miss those fans, you miss those interactions. So we played all of our games were pretty much road games. We were a young team, and for a young team to experience that is pretty hard. I mean, it's harder than anybody, but definitely harder on a young team to go through that. So we went through our growing pains, went through our injuries and everything. So I would say that was tough, man. Wish I could have played in New Zealand. I heard so much about the fan base out there, and that was one reason why I couldn't go out there to New Zealand. But it was tough. Hopefully this year they get a better chance to, stay in New Zealand, play at home, play in front of their fans, play in front of their family and friends. I think that would be big for them.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I was just wondering, have you made like any like I guess lasting friendships or relationships from your journeys playing basketball? Because obviously you would have had a lot of interactions with heaps of different people. So I was wondering what that was like for you.
Yeah, man. Like I said, basketball world is actually all my teammates, guys I play with. They have my time. I still talk to them every now and then. So I have made some really great friends, lifelong friends. And, when I meet somebody, we automatically become friends.
Yeah.
Where I'm not the type of person that's going to be standoffish. All my teammates, all my former teammates know that. I have nothing but love for them time. You always try to build those lasting relationships with people you meet. And my teammates, man, they're all special people. I love them just like I love my family.
Yeah, that's so good to see, and it's so good. I just love seeing the idea of like all these different sports. Whether it be basketball or any sport, just brings people together, and you get so many different people building all these different relationships through sports. So yeah, I think that's so awesome.
Oh, for sure.
Did you have like a favorite team that you played on that you just like that'll always stick in your memory?
Favorite team? I mean, my college team, of course. I was with those guys
Yeah.
for 4 years. So we had our relationship together. But I mean, dude, I would say my Berlin team. I was with them for 5 years, so I built a lot of close relationships with them. Probably my second or third year was like a big year because we got a new team, a new coach, and the guys' culture around it was awesome. And then this year's team, the new, I really did enjoy it. From on the court to off the court, the staff was amazing. General manager, I had Simon Edwards with us the whole year on the road. Those guys made me feel just at home. From Simon being manager to Tim Nolan, the strength trainer, Patino, the physio. We would play games, cards every road trip, which was every game. Just and that type of stuff I really appreciate, really loved, and those guys were very open. It was my first time being around staff members like part of the team.
Yeah, that's good.
What's the go-to card game that you guys play?
Oh man, we were playing Up the River.
Yeah.
Was one of their. That was my first time ever playing.
Yeah, gonna have to learn that one.
That was a fun one. We played that a bunch. We played some other games like Code board games like that. What it? Not Exploding Kittens. But another one. It was we played, and that. I mean, I've never really played that. I really enjoyed playing with them. But the card game that was really fun.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah.
Hey guys, Pat here. just as I was editing this part of the clip, I realised that Luke's audio went out. So I just thought I'd fill you in. The question that he asked was, had Peyton developed any rivalries through his time playing basketball with an individual or any other teams?
Not personally. I would say my big rivalry playing at Louisville. That was our big rival. I've played in some really good rivalries. I never took another team as my rival, like, but like as a team rivals, when I was in Berlin, playing against Munich, that was their big rival.
Yeah.
Like I had a chance to play in the Panathinaikos Olympiacos rivalry, a really great one. But yeah, man, those were some of the ones I remember that was really big as far as it go, and pretty fun.
Yeah.
Here in Australia, we don't have, I guess, the same. Or not even, I guess, we don't have the same, I guess, college atmosphere that the US has, especially around all their sports, but basketball and obviously football in particular. Obviously at Louisville, like in watching the highlights, there were so many times that it just seems like the crowd was rocking. What was the atmosphere like? Especially as like basically just a young kid going through college, having that level of atmosphere. How was that? And how did you cope with it?
It was crazy, man. At our home games, we averaged around 20,000+ fans.
Very crazy.
Which was state-of-the-art arena. So it was pretty amazing. Be a young kid, young man, playing in front of that, playing in front of all those people. Things you don't really realize when you're in that moment at that age, but you learn to appreciate it as you get older.
How was the adjustment from like just playing in a predominantly English-speaking country and then going over to European country where the English isn't the number one language? How did you go adjusting to that?
It was tough. I would say my first year I went to Italy where they didn't speak any English.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah.
You're trying to like box scores or just from daily, go out and order some food or get some food to eat. You got to constantly take your phone to thank God for Google Translate. You can kind of,
Yeah.
But it's tough, man. It's really tough. It can wear you. You're out there for months. Luckily in Germany, it was like here because they did speak more English than other countries. That kind of helped with and we were able to kind of maneuver with everything a lot better. But it's challenging. It's tough. But basketball wise, it's easy. Basketball is, it's an international game. Everybody speaks the same basketball language.
Yeah.
Off the court living, that's a lot tougher.
Yeah, that's mad.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, I don't have anything more. I don't know if you boys do at the moment.
One thing I was gonna say, do you have like any advice for like I guess any youngsters coming up through the ranks if they want to fulfill their dreams of being an NBA player? Because we know it's such a huge dream for so many kids. I know that I don't have the height or the athleticism to compete, but yeah, I was just wondering, yeah, have you got just any advice for people who want to fulfill that dream?
And I would say to a lot of the young guys, man, just continue to fall in love with the game of basketball. I mean, at the end of the game, like, if you're taking it too serious at a young age, you're not going to appreciate, that. I actually saw somewhere somebody mentioned. Totally true, man. As a young kid, for me, I was out in the park playing with my brother in the backyard. Where now I feel like every kid has a personal trainer, every kid has this and that.
Yeah, you see it on like social media and stuff. Like kids just going crazy.
Yeah,
with
media kind of hype. I feel like kids don't really fall in love with it a lot anymore. So I would say just fall in love with the game and to work. I mean, you have to put in the time, you have to put in the effort. For me, it was just always God first. Continue to work hard every day. Because if you work, eventually it's going to get whether now, 5, 10 years, all that hard work is going to add up and it's going to pay off. So just stay with it. You know, and like I said, have fun with it, man. You stay with it, stay grinding, stay in the gym. You know, just know that hard work.
Yeah, that's such good advice.
That's a great answer.
Yeah.
That's a good answer. Well, yeah, as I said, I don't have any more. I don't think I think the other boys have run out of questions as well at the moment. So I just like to say thanks, Peyton, for jumping on, man. It's been awesome. I really enjoyed having you, and just for highlight of our we've only been doing podcasts and stuff for about 12 months now. This is absolutely the highlight. So I'd like to say thank you.
Yeah, no problem, man. Thank y'all for having me on.
Appreciate it, man.
Yeah, thanks so much, man.
All the future stuff.
No problem. Good luck with it.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you.
A few moments later.
Well, there we go. We've all just listened to the interview with Peyton Siva Jr. I mean, I was pumped. I was stoked about it. How are you boys?
Yeah, absolutely. I thought it was amazing. I was honestly surprised with how well spoken he was as well. You know, you never know what you're going to expect from these high level athletes, and I feel like the way that he was just so well spoken and the way that he carried himself was absolutely amazing. I thought it was great.
Yeah, he was so good. He was just down to earth, just told you straight up everything that he did and didn't hold anything back. It was just so good to listen to someone like that.
Yeah, as you said.
Yeah, down to earth is how I was thinking. Tommy is just he was so just real about it. Like it wasn't we didn't go I guess super in depth into stuff, but he obviously still remembered where he came from, and then obviously had his time at Louisville and in the NBA. Like he was very articulate about how that process happened.
And I feel like he was really humble as well. Like it was at no point where he was like bragging or anything. So.
Yeah,
just seemed real grateful to be in the situation.
Yeah. Because even when I said you got crazy bounce, he was still I had bounce, but now he's always saying how he'd lost it. But he could have easily gone on a mad rant about how good he was, but he was just so humble. It was mad.
No, it was good as. But yeah, again, I don't think we'll spend too much time on this. I think the interview does most of the talking for us in this one. I just hope everyone enjoyed it. Last thing we have decided here at the podcast, I suppose, is that we are going to do a little giveaway in honor of by far our biggest guest on the podcast.
I was close, but anyway.
Tom was very close.
Debatable.
Yeah. Tom as a guest was actually a negative. Tom's been our 8th best guest, and we've only had 2. So,
it's a talent.
Yeah, absolutely it is. So with that, what we've decided is we're going to actually give away, in honour of Peyton Siva, who played for the New Zealand Breakers here in Australia, we're going to give away a New Zealand Breakers jersey. So what we'll ask you to do is obviously like and retweet the tweet that we put out and subscribe to the channel on one of our future episodes, probably next one, maybe the one after that. We'll give it a couple of weeks for everyone to get involved in it. We'll draw a winner out, whether it be via random wheel or whatever it might be, and then we'll organise a New Zealand Breakers jersey for an additional entry. If you've watched this far in the video, if you DM me on Twitter the word Louisville, then I'll whack an extra entry there for you.
Elite.
And you jump in on that, and then chance to win. There's a good selection of jerseys on there. Whoever wins, I'll send them a few links about which ones they can pick from, and whatever size you want. And there's heaps of different ones they've got. Their Indigenous ones they've got. A Looney Tunes one, I'm pretty sure. An all black one. They've got some sick ones. They go pretty hard. But that's pretty much it. Thanks for tuning in, and again, massive thanks to Peyton.
Yeah, can't thank him enough.
Absolute legend.
How thankful we are. So. Hopefully more to come in the future, and with the 12 months coming up for the podcast, stay tuned because we've got some big things planned.
There you go. Peace out.
Otherwise, Luke and Tommy, thanks for getting up with me this morning at 6 a.m.
Yeah.
It was minus 3 degrees Celsius.
It's all good.
So,
that's freaking cold.
On the grind.
It's cold as. If you're in the US, you can do the calculation yourself, but I think it's 22 22 or 24 degrees Fahrenheit.
It's cold.
It's cold.
From memory.
It's just cold.
It's
It's
cold.
cold.
It's fucking cold. It's fucking cold. But yeah, otherwise we'll catch you next time. Like, comment, subscribe.
See ya.
Cheers.